It looks like Alexander Usyk, two-time undisputed heavyweight champion, will be relinquishing his WBO belt. Usyk made this decision on Monday, which means we expect Fabio Wardley to be elevated as WBO champ. Now, Usyk has done this before with the IBF belt, and Daniel Dubois became the IBF champion. So it's obvious right now that Usyk is not interested in fighting Wardley. Some people think he's ducking Wardley because he vacated the belt. And they thought the same thing about him when he relinquished the IBF belt to Daniel Dubois. Later on, he came back and got the belt back by knocking out Daniel Dubois. So I'm thinking Usyk has something else cooking because he already said he's not ready to retire. He wants to fight till he's 41 years old. So the question is, what does Usyk have cooking? Or does he want to spend more time with his family? One thing I do not believe that Usyk is scared of Wardley. In other boxing news, we talked about this a couple of videos ago. Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua has been confirmed by ESPN. According to the article, it will be a legit heavyweight fight, not an exhibition. It will be 8 rounds, 3 minutes, 10-ounce gloves, and Anthony Joshua is estimated to make between $80 or $92 million. And they say Tank Davis was the face of boxing. If Tank Davis was the face of boxing, makes him $40 million, what does that make Anthony Joshua? Now, as a boxing fan, I'm not happy to see this. I was hoping Anthony Joshua would try to become champion once again. But as his financial manager, they love this fight. It's hard for me to tell somebody to turn down $92 million, even though I'm disappointed. And I also will say this. There's only one way this fight could go, if you're asking me. Anthony Joshua needs to knock this dude out. If Jake Paul is even competitive in this fight, there's no way that Jake Paul should be competitive in this fight. I don't care how washed you think Anthony Joshua is. If Jake Paul is even competitive in this fight, or the worst case scenario, pulls an upset, I'm going to feel some type of way. Now, a chilling message from Brian Norman Jr. Let's take a listen.
I won't say it even just for him, just for everybody. I like the real deal. Show y'all in the very first round, you are in for one. You get what I'm saying? Like, of course, when fighters come out, some are very anxious. Like, what it's like. And of course, is a whole word going around that I hit hard, so people want to know how hard is it. So whatever your thought may be, just know it's a million times harder. And I'm going to introduce you to that in the very first round. So now, you got to sit here and go back to the corner and think, I got 12 rounds to deal with that. Man, I ain't trying to mess with all that, dog. So now go back to my Derek Quavez fight. I made him quit off of a jab. I seen him flying across the ring twice, in the second round and in the third round when he quit. He looking this way. The ref said, look at him. He said, I don't know what you saying look at me for. I'm not going back in there. You know what I'm saying? So he got touched with something that made him change his mind. He wants to. I was a champion. He want that belt, but for some reason he quit. Something happened.
There's Brian Norman Jr. giving the Devin Haney camp something to think about. Now, Fight Week is here, and the big card, Ring 4 in Saudi Arabia, is on. Each matchup is very intriguing. Will Abdullah Mason win his first world title? Will Ben Rodriguez, who I consider a top 5 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, continue dominating his opposition? And will Benavidez, who in my opinion is fighting his first legit 175-pounder in Anthony Yard, will Benavidez continue his winning ways? Will he overwhelm Anthony Yard, who we know has a questionable gas tank, but has power? And will Benavidez be able to handle his power? And can Benavidez stop Anthony Yard? I think David Benavidez wins the fight Saturday night. But inquiring minds want to know, how will Benavidez handle Anthony Yard's power? Because the fighting style Benavidez has, Anthony Yard will have opportunities to land some shots. But we will find out about the whole situation Saturday night. Now, the most intriguing fight to me on this card, they're all great fights, but the one I'm looking at the most is Brian Norman versus Devin Haney. I like what Coach Malachi says about Brian Norman Jr. He's an old soul. And he is. He's everything that's right about boxing. He's not flashy. He's all about going in the ring, performing, and winning championships. That's what Brian Norman is all about, and he's trying to make the best fights he can. He's not into all the flashy stuff, the big cars, the jewelry, the clothes. Brian Norman Jr. is all about the sport. He's not all about who has the biggest social media, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Brian Norman Jr. is in there to knock your head off. And we see Devin Haney. Physically, he's in great shape. He looks like he's ready to fight. But is he mentally ready to fight? The last 2 fights we saw Devin Haney in, they wasn't great. And if you ask me, Ryan Garcia did a number on Devin Haney. I don't think Devin Haney will ever be the same. It might have started with Lomachenko. Lomachenko might have messed with his mind a little bit. But Ryan Garcia finished the job off, and I don't think we'll ever see the same Devin Haney. You see in the Ramirez fight, he was even scared to be touched. What's going to happen when he fights a younger, hungry champion in Brian Norman Jr.? See, this is fight week. All the talking stops. It's time to show and prove. Action speaks louder than words. He looks good physically, but if he's not ready mentally to get in the ring with Brian Norman, it's going to be a short night. And I'm listening to these chilling messages from Brian Norman Jr. This young man ain't playing. He's all about business. And if Devin Haney's not mentally ready for this fight right here could end his career. Because Brian Norman Jr. is looking for a devastating knockout. He don't want no decision. He don't want a boxing match. He wants to go in there, seek and destroy Devin Haney. With that being said, Devin Haney gets in the ring and he always surprises me. I didn't pick him to beat Regis Prograis. A lot of people say they did now, but back then, a lot of people thought Regis Prograis was going to easily win that fight, and some people thought he would hurt Devin Haney and take him out, and that didn't happen. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what fight you're really looking forward to. They're all great fights on there, but which one makes you really intrigued? The one for me is Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. Beezy, I'm gone.